What if I told you that the biggest problem with your chipping is directly affected by how you set up to the golf ball? Today, I'm going to show you one simple setup key that is going to guarantee that you never chunk a chip shot again. Sound too good to be true? Hi, I'm Darren Falk with Break 90 Golf. Let's stick around and let's fix your chip. Okay, so here we are. We hit our second shot. Didn't quite get it on the green, but we're up close. We've got a chance to save par. At the very worst, with an okay chip shot, we're going to guarantee we make bogey and no worse than that, which is our key to breaking 90. Got to eliminate the double bogeys. But what happens is we get near the green, we get excited, we tell ourselves we got to get this thing up in the air, and we do that. Hit behind the golf ball, chunk it, now we're frustrated, the downward spiral continues. The biggest problem I see with people with their chipping is in their setup. We're setting up, this chip shot is not a regular shot. It needs to come out higher and softer. The problem is that people are still setting up like they would for a regular shot. What I mean by that is I see the feet get nice and wide. We see the ball back, and I see them standing quite a bit away from the golf ball. The problem with that, one, it creates a lot more speed, which we don't need here, but also when I do this, the hands tend to get very, very low. And if my hands are low and stay low, this club is going to dig into the ground. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is some changes that we need to make in our setup that are going to help us and pretty much guarantee that we cannot possibly chunk a chip shot. If we look here, what we'll see is the golfer will be standing like they would be trying to hit a full swing. When I do that, you'll notice that the tendency when the hands are low is that the toe of the golf club is up in the air. And the problem with that is how the golf club is, the wedge in particular, is designed, where if I make contact with the heel end of this club, I'm going to dig this club into the ground. On the flip side, what we're going to work on today and focus on is the opposite. When I use the toe end of this club, the toe end will glide along the ground rather than digging. So what's that going to look like is in our setup. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up with our feet much closer together. I like maybe about 2.5 club head widths. Okay. Why we want that is that will take away any unnecessary body movement that we need. Okay. We also now don't need to play the ball really far back or really far up in my stance. Okay. So first key is going to make sure that the feet are close together. Ball position, I like it to be in the middle of my stance. If I play it too far back to try to make sure that I'm hitting the ground first, this ball is going to come out too low. We want to have some height and some softness. So feet close together, ball middle of the stance. Now here is the secret sauce for this shot. I'm going to go ahead and stand closer and taller, and I'm going to choke down a little bit on this golf club. When I do this, you'll notice the heel of the club actually gets up in the air. And I want that to be the case. Because if I went ahead and made some swings with the focus of trying to hit the ground with just the toe end of this club, notice how the club just glides or bounces along the ground. I'm hitting the ground, but I'm barely taking much of a divot. Okay, that's the key that we need to avoid hitting the chunk. So, again, feet close together, ball middle of my stance. Again, here's the secret. I'm going to stand closer. Might even feel for some of you like you're standing on top of the golf ball. Face is going to be opened a little bit, but I'm going to make sure that the heel of the club is actually off the ground. And now from here with this setup, really all that I can do is just really kind of rock my shoulders back and through. This kind of thing, turn and turn. I'm not going to use a lot of wrist action for this shot because I don't need it. Okay, so I'm standing closer, heels off the ground, and now my sole goal is going to be thinking about, one, hitting the ground, and two, trying to hit the ground with the toe end of the club. So let's go ahead and see how that works. Okay, and notice how high and soft that shot came off. And if we look at where my club hit the ground, there's just barely any remnants of me actually hitting the grass, but there's definitely no divot. Do that again. Feet close together, standing closer. Heel of the club is off the ground. And I'm going to make a swing where I just let the club hit the ground, but just the toe end of it. Okay, again, another high soft shot. That's going to land on any green, and it's going to get me maybe a chance for one putt, but guaranteeing that I have no more than 2 putts, and that's our goal. Right? Again, do one more. Ball middle, feet close together, standing close, heel of the club off the ground. Going to make sure that I hit the ground and just try to do it with the toe end of this club. Okay, that's a little bit of a miss hit there, but it still worked out okay. Okay, now here's another added little benefit of this shot is with this setup technique, I now no longer have to hit this ball perfectly. I can actually hit slightly behind the golf ball and still hit a pretty functional shot. So as a drill, what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and put 3 golf balls down, right? And I'm going to remove the middle one. And we'll know that we're striking this ground properly if both these golf balls actually turn out to be okay. So I'm going to picture that ball in the middle still, and I'm still going to think about trying to hit that one. But again, I'm hitting the ground with just the toe of the golf club. And let's see if both these shots can turn out okay. Heel up in the air, feet close together, ball about middle. Okay, and notice that club stayed on the ground long enough to make contact with both of those golf balls. And that's what I want to see for most golfers. Okay, so again, what is our key here? It's not necessarily how we're swinging the club, but a lot of it can be fixed just in our setup. So we are going to make sure we are standing closer and taller to the golf ball. When I do that, the heel end of the club is actually going to come off the ground. And that's what I want to happen because I'm trying to hit the ground with just the toe end of this club. Help us do that a little bit more. Again, we're going to have the feet close together, ball middle, standing closer and taller, toe down or heel up. And now I'm going to make a swing with my sole goal, try to hit the ground with the toe of the club. And if you do that, I can guarantee you are never going to have to be worried or afraid of chunking the golf ball again. Thank you everybody for watching this today. I hope you found it helpful. If you haven't already, if you would please to help me out and help me continue to make these videos, make sure to like this and also subscribe to the channel. That way you'll always see updates. If there's anything that you want to see, please add it in the comments below and I'll be sure to address it in future videos. And if there's anyone that you think would find this drill helpful, please go ahead and share it with them. Thanks so much for joining and look forward to seeing you again next time.